I mean, last night's angle, I mean, I would have liked it if it wasn't edited, I think it would have came off a lot worse than it did. But still, he was great in his role on the mic, and you can't edit stuff like that out, at least on his part. Swagger obviously needs work on the mic, but MVP over the next, it looks like they're going to do that angle anyway with Swagger versus MVP. I don't know, probably next week, because the next pay-per-view is Night of Champions, and every title or every match on that show is planned to be a title match. So the feuds like Jack Swagger versus MVP and Primo versus Carlito are either going to need to be done on Monday Night Raw, which would feel way too rushed. You know what I mean? Especially with Carlito and Primo. I mean, that really, really felt rushed last week. They only did 1 or 2 weeks worth of teasing. 1 week, I believe, 1 week worth of tease that, there was tension between the two, and then they split them up, and then what? You do the match next week on Raw, and then what happens? You know what I mean? Same thing with Swagger and MVP. What, are you going to do the match next week?
It definitely was a little rushed, especially with Carlito. But, I mean, you kind of knew it was going to happen. I would rather maybe see a little bit more. Maybe next week we may see Carlito come into the ring and apologize. So this way they can kind of continue being the tag team, continue pushing the tag team division, but in reality, they'll break up once again, and Carlito will take his full-fledged heel turn.
Yeah, but what about MVP and Swagger? I mean, do you do that next week as well?
Well, yeah, because it's the reality is, if they're going to push MVP to that main event level, then you got to look at it as a push as Evan Bourne is getting, being booked with the Big Show. So with the only exception, obviously, is Mark Henry, that's given him a little bit of a higher level or a higher push, but the guy's been, working for Vince for, 10, 13 years or whatever. I mean, a long time. So right now, Swagger is a good opponent for MVP to elevate MVP to a higher level if that happens in that. It's the bottom line is I think MVP will definitely get over with that program once they start going at it, but it may drag out for a little bit. It may be like one of those summer feuds that we'll see back and forth on TV and then settled at WrestleMania I don't see them wrestling.
Or take guys like Swagger, MVP, Primo, Carlito, and put them in, I don't know, maybe like a 10-man match or something at SummerSlam.
A battle royal. I mean, don't forget, we have Kofi with his USA title, and Kofi doesn't really have a true program with an opponent. I mean, he fought Evan Bourne, which was an excellent match. We're going to see probably those guys kind of battle.
But look at what we're talking. We're talking about guys like Evan Bourne right now, Jack Swagger right now, Kofi Kingston right now. These are all new guys that they are continuing to build. It may be a slow build, but they are there on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? And when you really look back at all the new talents that they've been bringing up as of late, and then the new guys in ECW, obviously it's not going to be an overnight thing with them where they're going to be mega stars after one appearance on ECW, but you build them up through ECW. You know what I mean? Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, all guys that came from ECW, you know what I mean? So they're slowly building it up, you know what I mean? And it's interesting to see, the guys that are working and the guys that aren't working, but they are, the opportunity is there for these guys, at least in recent weeks, you know what I mean? They're trying, you can clearly see that they are trying to build new stars. Whether they're doing it and going about it the right way,
time will see. I mean, but reality is, even Vince said it during the last conference call for the shareholders, right now we're in a rebuilding stage, and that's exactly what we pinpointed last week when we talked about the 3 different levels for WWE programming. And then, of course, you have superstars, but ECW will be the next level after FCW. So you go into there, and then if you graduate from there, then you get either put on SmackDown or the bigger show, which is the mothership, is Monday Night Raw, and that's kind of what they're getting used to now. That's the rebuilding foundation. Same thing with the pay-per-views. They're rebranding some of their pay-per-views to kind of just bring certain different levels, aspects of wrestling telecast on pay-per-view. So the Hell in the Cage is a perfect example, an event that might just be all inside a Hell of a Cage. So it's going to be interesting what we're going to see in the way that how WWE is.
They brought back Cyber Sunday. Remember?
Right. Yeah. I'm glad because the other one was just like corny, and it's interesting because the WWE actually trademarked a whole mess of possible pay-per-view names, and it's just like, wow, they really kind of want to change things up. They want to build a brand of pay-per-views to be different from free TV. I mean, WWE Blackout is a name that they trademarked. WWE Zero Tolerance is another one that they trademarked as well. So it's an interesting way that they're going to try to change a little bit how they push the product. But more importantly, they're trying to change the way that we view pay-per-views and kind of give us the reasons why we're paying $40 for their products. I mean, if you see UFC's business model, they're reverse. Their TV ratings are 1.4s, 1.2s, unless they're running a special. Then it goes up to 2. But the pay-per-view are like
their specials on Spike TV are usually 1.3 or 1.4 for the live fights, and that's not all that good. I mean, the Ultimate
No, it's
Fighter,
not, and that's what I'm saying is their business model is reversed. That their pay-per-views, they're getting 800,000 buys.
Right.
WWE doesn't even come remotely close to that unless it's
right.
WrestleMania.
Right.
But their TV numbers are through the roof. They're almost 7 million for the commercial free. So that gives you an indication if 7 million viewers are watching this on TV, and out of those 7 million viewers, only 200,000 are buying your pay-per-views. That is an extremely small conversion of viewership from free to pay-per-view. So you got to change it up. You got to say, why do you want to spend $40? Why do I want to spend $40? Well, we're going to do a pay-per-view for Hell in the Cell. Okay, that's different. That's a little bit perfect example. TNA Lockdown. It's a different concept. It's a different pay-per-view pattern that they've developed, and that's where the learning stages come into play.
Oh, we just had Backlash, and then Judgment Day followed that up, and they were almost identical. I mean,
and that's the problem. That is exactly the problem. Why is my voice cracking today? It's beyond me. But
I know I wasn't going to say anything.
No, I caught myself on that one. But that is exactly the problem. I need to drink water. That's the thing.
You got to get one of these Pepsis, man. See, that's one thing. See, I'm healthy about Pepsi. I drink Pepsi, but it's got to be caffeine free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you start getting wired up.
I know. Damn, my chat locked. See, I see all the love from you people in the chat. I was just going to shout you out, say I love you back, give you some chat shout-outs. Everybody says I love you, Clark, in the chat room, so I was going to shout them out right now. And then what happens, Jose? My chat locks, my computer freezes, and I'm screwed. So with that, since I'm the host and you're the co-host, why don't you just talk about something, Jose? I don't know, dude. Let me try to get this fixed. What about talk about Evan Bourne, and I'll set you up.
Talk about Evan Bourne. Well, Evan Bourne has started wrestling.
No, stop. We had a match. There was a match. We had Kofi.
Evan Bourne and Kofi, non-title. Yeah, I'm not a good play-by-play man. You know that. I'll just tell you who won. My friends hate me when they see the pay-per-view. I'm like, I'll tell you who won. But it was a good match. Actually, it was actually a good match between both men.
Go ahead and tell them who won, and then not that they don't know already.
Evan Bourne won. There you go. Next.
That's all you got for me? Come on, you got to stall for longer than that.
No, it was a good match. I think it's a program. You get two faces in. You got Evan Bourne, coming in, and of course you have Kofi, former ECW talent, now wrestling as a USA champion on Monday Night Raw, and then you have Evan Bourne, of course, coming from ECW through this trade. I think it was good. I actually think, and it was smart that gave Evan Bourne the win, so this way he doesn't lose steam, he doesn't lose credibility. And now, he puts himself in the lines of possibly a challenger for Kofi's USA title.
What? No. What? No. I'm back in the live chat room, guys. You get into the live chat room. It's WZROnline.com /
Killing me over here.
I know. The number to call is 724-444-7444. that's what when they put me in charge, you know what I mean? When they say, Clark,